Hi superhumans, thank you so much for watching. I am so excited about today's video because this is something that I feel like I could definitely deal with in my life right now. If you are feeling demotivated or flat or like you just need a new lease on life, then hopefully there is something in this video for you. In this video, I'll be discussing a simple framework that you can use to do a sanity check of the different areas of your life and just make sure that you are giving your best input in the areas that really matter. If you're interested to find out what these 3 pillars are and the questions that I ask myself in each of the pillars to make sure that things are on track, then please keep watching. And make sure to stay through until the very end of the video where I'll be sharing 2 tips that I use in general if there's something that I think I ought to do, but I don't necessarily feel like doing it. So if you're interested, then please keep watching. The first pillar is the physical pillar. Now, of course, here the obvious thing is, are you getting enough exercise? Whether you're going for a run or you're lifting weights or you're doing yoga, moving your body will make you feel better. There's no surprise that the word motion comprises most of the word of emotion. So if you want to change your inner state, you have to change your outer state. But that doesn't only mean exercise. The way that you carry yourself and the expression that you have on your face all send messages to your body and to your mind about how you're feeling. Carry yourself well, sit up with a straight back, keep a smile on your face, and you'll see that you'll immediately start feeling better. The next thing is, what food are you taking into your body? Even though salty and sweet foods make us feel nourished immediately, in the long term, they don't offer us sustainable nourishment. So make sure that you have a balance of leafy greens and healthy food to counteract the hopefully 1 or 2 sugary and salty things that you might be having every once in a while. Everything is okay in moderation as long as you don't get excessive with it. I know my guilty pleasure is waffle. And I'm trying to cut down how many waffles I take in because I know that I feel good after eating them, but then over a long time, I know that I'm probably picking up weight and my energy levels are depleting because of how many sugary things I'm eating. So it's definitely something that I need to work on. The next thing is how much sleep you're getting. I love Eleanor Roosevelt's quote that there is nothing in the world that can't be made better with a nap, and I tend to agree. I've experienced this myself. If there's ever a problem that I'm dealing with and it feels unmanageable and I feel overwhelmed, if I just have a nap or a good night's rest, it always feels like I can deal with it so much better when I wake up. I feel motivated and the problem somehow seems more solvable. The last thing is to make sure that you're spending enough time outdoors. With the way that our lives are structured right now, it's very easy to get away with just going from your house to your car to work to the gym and then back home and not actually getting much vitamin D or spending time out in nature. Whether you are going for a walk or a hike, you get to see the splendor that is around us, and this can take our minds off of, the 1,000,001 things that we're thinking of in any time and pay attention to the beauty that is around us. So spending time outdoors is something that will immediately make you feel better. The next pillar is emotion. Now, of course, this is one of the biggest things, and which is why the list is the longest here. The first thing that you want to do is to monitor the content that you are consuming. In the same way that you want to monitor the food that you're putting into your body, the information content that you're taking in is also very important to keep track of. Are you taking in information that is enriching you, or are you dumbing yourself down in your own perception of things? If you are spending a lot of time on social media, maybe this is something that you'd also want to track. There are lots of apps that I use. A good one is App Block that you can put on your phone and restrict the hours of use. I've already had feedback from friends that this has helped them so much, and it's amazing how when we just cut out social media, we immediately start feeling better as we start paying more attention to ourselves rather than the way that everybody else is living their life. The next thing that you want to do is create more. Every human, no matter how artsy or how not artsy they are, has a natural propensity to want to create. And it doesn't only have to be painting or playing an instrument, it can be something like cooking too. So make sure that the ratio with which you are consuming to creating is one that you are comfortable with. So try to make something special every day, whether it's a meal or a poem. Put a lot of creativity and exercise that left brain into at least one activity every day. The next thing is to express gratitude. And I can't even relay this enough. In every situation, no matter how dire it is, if you can just point out one thing that you are grateful for with the way that the situation is, whether it's that there is a lesson to be taught, that you're realizing that something that you wouldn't have known otherwise, it will reframe everything and make your mind start to see the positivity in most of the situations that you find yourself in. An attitude of gratitude is the antidote to almost every problem that you can encounter. So I have a gratitude app on my phone that I use to write 3 things every morning that I'm very grateful for, and they can be as big and small as possible. So this week I've been grateful for everything from my parents to music and the sugar bowl on my cupboard. The next thing is to harness and pay attention to your intuition. Our sixth sense and our intuition is a gift that every human has. I mean, you've seen it about how there are some people who can speak to people who have passed on and who can read minds and predict the future. This is a gift that I think that everybody has. It's just that we have tapped into it to different levels, and it's something that can be honed in on with time. Pay attention to the messages that you're getting from your subconscious mind. Do you have a nagging voice telling you that you should change career? Is there something that you've always wanted to do and it just can't leave you alone no matter what you try? Then dedicate time to making things happen, and it all starts with a simple decision and an action. Take the first step now. Also making sure that you do something for yourself, something that enriches you and something that makes you feel fulfilled. Your intuition will always give you guidance about what is best for you. The next pillar is the relationship pillar, and here the strategies are really very simple. The first thing is to spend less time and energy on people who make you feel inferior. Crazy thing is that most of the time, toxic relationships are the most intoxicating. That is because usually it's a lack of self-love that has allowed us to get into that situation in the first place. And because that person treats you poorly, it validates the belief that you have about yourself in the first place. So be very mindful about how you feel as soon as you enter the space of somebody else. If there's somebody who, when you depart, makes you feel relieved that they are gone, then this is somebody that you probably should be spending a lot less time with. If this is somebody who makes you feel like you should be questioning everything that you do, but not necessarily in a good way, but in a way where you really are doubting yourself, then this is probably somebody that you should be spending less time with too. Monitor how you feel after your exchanges with people, and make sure that you are spending the most time with the people who make you feel good, who make you feel fulfilled, and who make you challenge the way that you think and want to be the very best version of yourself. And then the final thing is, of course, become your own best friend. Often, if we see our friends doing something that we know isn't good for them, we will yank them out of the situation to the best of our ability. But why do we never extend that same consideration and effort with ourselves? Most of the time, we beat ourselves up if we make a mistake, and we are so not understanding for the situations that we find ourselves in. Be your own best friend and give yourself guidance in the same way that you would with your closest friend. I literally talk to myself in the car, in the shopping mall. I know that people think I'm crazy, but I don't care because I'm looking after myself. So sometimes I will find myself in a very negative thought process, and I will literally say, this is not helping you at all. This is only worsening everything. The best thing that you can do is just let it go. Being able to have those conversations with yourself in the same way that you would with your closest friend is one of the most life-changing and easy to apply things that you can do right now. So become your own best friend and you will never look back. There you have it. Those are the 3 pillars that I pay attention to whenever I feel like I'm demotivated, or my life feels like I'm stuck in a rut, or like I just need a new lease on life. But I promise you that there would be 2 things that I would share with you that I do every time there's something that I know that I need to do, but I just don't feel like doing it, whether it's exercising or playing one of my instruments or going for a walk or picking up the phone call to call somebody that I haven't contacted in a long time. I usually follow these 2 things. The first thing is to change the way that you phrase it in your mind. So instead of saying, I have to go to the gym now, rather say, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym and see how it goes. I'm just going to see how it goes. Remove all the pressure in the way that you express obligations to yourself. So rather than saying, I have to go and visit this person, say, I get to go and see this person. And I'm sure that there's going to be something interesting that comes out of it, and I'm curious to see what it is. Our words are an incredible tool that we can use to help us to accomplish all things that we struggle with normally. So relieve the pressure and look for joy and excitement in every activity that you do. The next thing is to time something. So often I'll know I need to exercise, but I really don't feel like it that morning, and it's always the things that we need to do the most that we feel like the least. So searching for the things that I really don't feel like doing and doing that specific thing is a strategy to leading an awesome life that I can prescribe for absolutely everybody. But what do you do if you actually don't feel like doing it? Well, how about you set a timer and you say, I'm going to try it for just 15 minutes. I'm going to exercise for 15 minutes, and if I don't feel like continuing after that, well, I did 15 minutes, and it's that time that I wouldn't have done had I not put the timer on, so let me just go for it. And almost every time you end up going further than what your initial expectation was. So try this out for yourself. Reframe the way that you say that you have to do something, so not using the word have to at all, but say, let me see how it goes, it's worth a try, I'm curious to see how things turn out, and this will be funny, let's just give it a shot. And then time yourself. Take the minimum amount of time where you can achieve something significant, or at least achieve something for that day. Set the timer and then just do it and see how you feel afterwards, and if you don't, then stop there. You've done what you set out to do. There you have it. We discussed a framework as well as 2 techniques that we can apply to give our lives a reboot. I hope that you found something useful in this video. Now, my question for you is, what techniques and tips do you have to help you get out of a rut? Is there anything that you can share with the community that can help us to all achieve our best levels of personal growth? If you have any tips and strategies, then please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I'm always looking for more things that I can do to help me when I get to these phases that we all go through. It's part of life. We all go through phases where we feel demotivated, but staying demotivated is our fault. There's always something that we can do. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.